Okay, so this is the final results, and this is actually enough to present a sketch, and this took me about 5 to 7 minutes to complete. Okay, so let's dive right into the process. One way to create accurate sketch is to limit yourself to a shape. This shape is now functioning as a border, and I'm acting within the shape. I have created this simple geometric shape with line efficiency, meaning that I have used C-curve, S-curve, and straights. Watch how I apply the same approach when I build my axe. It's okay to repeat a line in mostly three cases. One of them is to make it bolder, to emphasize weight and thickness. Secondly, it is to correct loose threads and overpowering hairlines effect. So when you overpower a line, which means you go over and over again on the same line, it's not just to repeat itself. Most cases you can catch yourself thinking while doing it, so making it bolder gives you more time to decide what to do next. Here I'm using another angle. This is a front view of a different axe, and take a look at how it comes through this sketch quite quickly. About 20 seconds or so, and you know what weapon is this. You can assume how big it is, and from this stage you can develop it to another level. Add another iteration of detail. In simple words, this means that you have the base model that you can thereafter design. You should keep it to a minimal because you don't want too many lines describing one thing. Think of it that you don't want to repeat yourself. You don't want to say the same thing twice. Otherwise, the viewer can predict what is upcoming, thus result in something that is boring. If I were to create that X once more, maybe I would have created it in another angle when one shape is bigger or closer to the camera while other is further away, creating a variation in shapes. Moving on to the next object, I'm gonna create a different view, a very dynamic view, just to keep the hype of variations. But now I'm gonna use cylinders and boxes to create depth and help me to show the physicality in that object, which will make it more believable. You know, if it just was a flat depiction of an axe, then you know it's 2D, you can feel it's 2D. It might be used to something other than presenting an idea to a class or a client. You want to create that believability in the customer's mind that he can grab and hold of that axe. So making it 3D helps to showcase our work and create that wow effect. Best way I can think of is, would you buy the idea of what you're drawing? If you do, then great, you are in the right way because this is your truth. You're drawing something that you believe in, and this comes through your work. Finally, when you're drawing something that you enjoy of, you have that peace of mind to further design it in your own time. It's almost like the drawing dictates itself, and you only focus on the fundamentals while drawing. It's the perfect state to be at, if you ask me. I don't put too much pressure on the pencil. I'm using thin lines that I can later erase if I want to. And I like to use ghosting from one point to another so I can nail the line that I want. In addition of presenting your idea, you're drawing something that meant to be shown. So you have to be clear about what you're drawing, about the subject matter. And clarity here is key because you don't necessarily know who will take a look of what you're drawing. For example, on the body of the axe, on the wooden part, you can see several circles that wraps around the wood of the axe. It's just to show the cylindrical shape of that object. I don't want to be shown as two parallel lines going into perspective. Although it's the start of a three-dimensionality, things in perspective, but making it cylindrical help to show the believability and the width and the depth of the material. And of course, I'm having fun with some Celtic pattern drawing. You're gonna have to excuse me, I'm not a big designer at what comes to patterns and stuff like this. Of course, it's something I can just copy and paste from the internet. It's something that it's not a full drawing. It didn't took me an hour to complete, so I'm still on the sketch phase. And later on, you will see how we can turn these loose lines into something that feel more real without going too much deep into shading. Moving on to our fourth design. This time what's different is I didn't use a shape to enclose what I'm gonna do. This is more like a free perspective, a freehand drawing. Of course I'm still using shape that I can recreate again and again. Because when you decide how something will look on your canvas, imagine that this is now your world, and in this world, creating different languages may distract the general message, the viewer. You cannot have a realistic tree in Looney Tunes movie. They have those particular design. You can check out different anime. They have different shape language, different designs to how people look, how things appear in this world, and how things move and behave. This is a concept of something. So a shape language is a system of visual language. And it's your job as a draftsman, as a painter, as part of the visual development team to come up with a visual language that suits that game, that movie, and stick to it. You have to be clear about it, how things appear in this world. For example, how a cloud looks in this world. To sum up, you have to be alert about three things. One is line efficiency, to avoid misleading the eye and tied up things. Two is shape design, so that you have a clear idea of how things look and appeal to the viewer. And three is visual language, so that you are consistent with the visual concept in the world that you are creating. We are getting closer to the end of the video, and one of the best thing I wish for you is that you really learn to trust yourself. I mean, of course it's not comes in a day, but in that very moment that you sit down for at least 10 minutes and dedicate your time with no distractions, with no phone, turn up and close to you. Really remove any distraction, close the door, open the window so the muse can come in. Those 10 minutes, first of all, what happens is that you're removing any dust from your skills. Like if you haven't painted for a while, then the first 1 hour will be getting back to yourself, getting in shape back. And then you start to build up momentum. This is where the magic happens, because once you build momentum, you have what you have done yesterday fresh in your mind. It will take you like 2-3 minutes to get up in the morning and come back to yourself. But once you're there, you're just ready anytime, anywhere, with any tool, just as a professional. And this is really what becoming a ninja is, to be able to use the surroundings to your advance. So adaptability with different tools and different disciplines, painting, drawing, and understanding deeper and more complicated concepts of drawing. And after some times you may feel that you know the basics, you have studied the fundamentals and you're ready to move on. That's where you start to tease yourself and ask greater questions, like how it can be done differently. How can I do it more interesting? So that's where you start exploring other artists and other professionals. A healthy habit will be to surround yourself with people who has the same goals as yours. Just imagine how great it is to have a friend that you can talk about with the struggles that you're having. I mean, someone who has the same problems or other problems, maybe you can help him with your particular area and you need him in other particular area, or you just both of you are going to through the same struggle. How great it is to have that, a friend, a coworker that you can share your thought and experience with it. I think it's necessary, not just needed, but necessary to have a healthy habit and a stable relationship with your art. Like, you gotta give it to yourself.
Hey, I'm Uli, and if there is something that I can help you with in this video or the next video, please let me know in the comments so I can really know and understand how I can help you even further. Looking forward for next time. Happy painting!